Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa. In this video I'm going to show you how to draft and cut a perfect princess dart bustier top. Now with the technique and method I'll be using to draft this princess dart bustier, you'll be able to eliminate zip bulge from the back of your top or a dress, whatever you are making, so you're not going to have any form of zip bulge using this method that I'll be showing you. Now if this is something you're interested in learning how to cut and sew, stick around and watch this video to the end. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do also subscribe. Give my video a thumbs up and also feel free to leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much guys. Now let's get started. So these are the measurements needed for this top. So I have the top length, that is from the shoulder to wherever the top is going to be. I have my bust measurement, the waist measurement, the hip measurement, the bust point, the under bust, the front waistline measurement, and the back waistline measurements. Now these two are very important. If you are trying to avoid zip bulge, you make sure that you measure from the shoulder to the waistline at the front, and then you go ahead to measure from the shoulder to the waistline at the back, because it is usually not the same thing for most people. Now since we have a difference in the front and the back waistline, automatically the top length too is going to decrease. So the difference between the front and the back waistline is 2 inches, and then the top length now for the back is going to decrease by 2 inches. Then I have my across back measurement, and then I have my armhole circumference. I'm going to start with the front pattern of this top. So I'm going to take my chest line measurements, which is usually my armhole circumference divided by 2, or the bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So I have 8.5 for my chest line. I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to mark my bust point, then I'll mark the under bust, and then I'm going to mark my front waistline measurement, which is 16, and then the top length, which is 23 inches. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the other side, and I'll connect them together. So I'm going to label this as the shoulder line, then this is my chest line, the bust point, the under bust, the front waistline, and then the top length. So this part is going to be labeled as the center front, which is usually on fold, and then this other part here is the side front. Now I'm going to take my across back measurement on the shoulder line and the chest line. So my across back measurement is 16 inches. That is my shoulder to shoulder measurement. I have 16 inches for mine divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'll take it on the shoulder line and the chest line, then I'm going to connect a straight line. Then I'm going to create my armhole. From the shoulder line here, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and then whatever I have left, I'll divide by 2 and mark that point. On that point, I'm going to come in by 0.75. So that is for the front. Now on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurements divided by 4. So I have 38 inches divided by 4, which is 9.5. Then I'm going to connect the 3 points with my armhole curve. Now for my neckline, I'm going to use 4 inches for the neck width, and then I'm going to use 4 inches for the neck depth. So you can decide to use any one that you are comfortable with, but this is just fine for this top. Then I'm going to connect with my French curve, and on the shoulder, I'll connect my shoulder slant. Now from the chest line down to the top length, I'm going to measure out the bust span. So that is the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches for me. That is 8 inches divided by 2, which is 4 inches. Now if you don't have this measurement ready, you can use your bust measurement to calculate this. Your bust measurement divided by 4 minus 1.5 divided by 2. So you will get your bust span measurements. So I'm going to connect that using a straight line. Now towards the center front on the top length, I'm going to come in by 0.5, and towards the side front, I'm going to take 1.5. I'll do the same thing for the front waistline and then the under bust. So the point is going to stop on the under bust, from the under bust down to the top length. So I'm going to connect them together. Now I'm going to use my curve to connect from the under bust into the bust point on both sides. Now in order to achieve our princess dart, I'm going to connect from the bust point into the middle of the armhole. So using a curve, you connect carefully from the bust point into the armhole. I'm going to come in by 0.5 inch on both sides, making everything 1 inch altogether. So the reason why I'm doing this is just to prevent gaping on the armhole area. So doing this is going to ensure that your armhole is well laid on the body. So what I'm going to do now is to connect this back into the bust point. Now while connecting this other one here, I'm going to extend a little bit. Now I'm going to fix this 1 inch that I took care to prevent gaping. I'll fix it on the extended part here. So this one here is going to ensure that you don't have gaping on the armhole there. So I'm going to connect this new one that I have here into the chest line. So that is going to be the new armhole. Now before connecting a new armhole, I already have my chest line measurement here as 9.5. Then whatever I have here, I have about 0.5. I'm going to replace it and put it on the chest line. Then I'll draw out my new armhole. So this is what I have now. When I want to cut out, I'll be cutting this new one instead of this old one. So this is how it is going to be. Now on the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurements divided by 4. So I have 32 inches divided by 4, which is 8 inches. I'm going to mark that there, and then whatever I have here, I've used about 2 inches here for the dart. I'm going to replace it here on the waistline. Now here on the top length, I'm going to put my hip measurement. So I have my hip divided by 4. Then I'm going to also replace what I have here, which is 2 inches. I'll put it there, and then I'll connect everything together. So this is how the front looks like. Now let's not forget that we have a difference in the front waistline and the back waistline. So the difference that I have for mine is 2 inches. So that 2 inches now is what I'll be using to take in the side dart. So by the side here on the bust point, I'm going to come down by that 2 inches. Then I'll connect it back into the bust point. So doing this is going to ensure that the sides of the front and the back are equal by the time you want to sew. So the sides are going to be equal, while the center front still remains the separate measurements that you have for them, but the sides will be equal, so that by the time you are joining, you're not going to have any side longer than the other. Now I'm going to go ahead to cut out what I have. Before cutting this side out completely, I'm going to try to cover up my side dart. So I'm going to open up this part here and then come to one of these parts too and open that up. Now you make sure that when you're opening this part up, you don't completely cut it open. So this way I'll be able to close up the side dart. So I'm going to just cover it up with my masking tape, and then I'll draw a new line to connect them together. Then I'm going to go ahead to cut out the rest of what I have. If you are still watching this, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also give this video a thumbs up so you can be visible to many more people. You can also share this to your family and to your friends. Thank you very much, guys. So guys, this is it for the front pattern of the top, and now you can see that the armhole is equal. That is because of that 1 inch that we added. So imagine that we didn't add the 1 inch that we used for the darts there, you will see that it will not be equal. So don't forget to add the extra 1 inch, and then that is it for the front pattern of this top. Now let's move on to the back pattern. For the back pattern, I'll first of all bring out my zip allowance. So I have 1 inch. I'm going to be using 1 inch for the zip allowance. Then I'm going to connect a straight line. Now I'm going to measure out my chest line, which is 8.5 inches, the same thing I used for the front. Then I'll measure out my back waistline. So don't forget that the back waistline is different from the front waistline. So just go ahead to take measurements of yours to know the exact measurement for you. So I have my back waistline, then I'm going to measure out the top length. Now since we have 2 inches difference between the front and the back, it means the top length is going to decrease by 2 inches also for the back. So I have 21 inches for the top length of the back. I hope you understand that. So due to the fact that there is a difference in the front and the back waistline, automatically the top length is also going to decrease by the difference that we have in the front and the back waistline. So what I'll just say now is that you should ensure that you have an accurate measurement before you proceed to draft or cut out. Now I'm going to go ahead to connect those points together. So I have this as my shoulder line, this as the chest line, this as the back waistline, and then this part as the top line. Now this part is going to be the center back line, just like I have center front line for the front, and then this side is the side back. So starting from the center back line here, you know this part is now the zip allowance. So starting from that center back line, I'm going to take my across back measurements divided by 2, which is 8 inches for mine on the shoulder line and on the chest line, and I'm going to connect those points together. Now from the shoulder line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and then whatever I have left, I'm going to divide by 2, and from that point I'll come in by 0.5. Now on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. So also starting from the center back line, I'll take the bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'm going to use my French curve to connect the 3 points together. So for the neckline, I'm going to use the same thing I used at the front for the neck width. So I have 4 inches, and then for the neck depth, I'm going to use 1 inch for the back. So I want the back to be higher than the front. Then I'm going to connect with my French curve and also connect the shoulder slant. Now we'll be taking another step to prevent zip bulge at the back. So on this back waistline here, starting from this center back line, I'm going to come in with 1 inch. So I'll be coming in by 1 inch from the center back line there into the waistline. So that is because the back is not straight, the back is a little bit curved. So I'm going to try to imitate that shape of the back using this method. So coming in by that 1 inch, I'm going to connect back into the chest line. Then also from that point, I'll connect back into the top length. So now this is going to be the new zip allowance, and then this part is no longer needed. Now I already have my chest line measurement here, and then I'll go ahead to fix in my waistline measurement. So I'll be using that for the waistline. So I'm just going to fix in the waistline divided by 4, which is 8 inches. So starting from this new point here, which is the new zip allowance, so from that new point, I'm going to take in my waistline measurements. Then on the top length, I'm also going to take in my hip line measurement starting from that new point. So I'm going to go ahead to connect all those points together. So guys, this is it for the back pattern, and then I'm going to proceed to cut out what I have. So this is it for the front and the back pattern of a princess dart bustier top. Now look at the sides of both of them. You can see that they are equal. That is because of the 2 inches that we already took as the difference between the two of them. So imagine if we didn't take the 2 inches there, you would have the front longer than the back, and then you're going to be having confusion by the side of your top. So this is what it is meant to look like. So we've come to the end of the tutorial for the drafting and cutting of a princess dart bustier top. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to sew this from the beginning to the end and how to properly pad your bustier. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do well to subscribe so that you'll be able to see the next video. And also do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and feel free to leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. So guys, I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.